Well, I'm glad to see you guys. My name is Laura Gillis, and I am an artist and a master naturalist. And one of my favorite things to do is to do nature journaling. And when you nature journal, that you just need to sit down and be quiet and look at nature and see what you can observe. Some of the benefits of journaling will help you. It'll help you slow down and observe things, and it'll help you remember things. So I'm going to show you some of my journals, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of these, and then we're going to draw for a little bit, and then I want to see what you guys draw. So let me switch my screen around here so we can so you can see what I'm doing. Oh, that's awful. Okay, so this is one of my nature journals, and it's kind of a fancy one, but you don't have to have anything fancy like this. In fact, that's the nice thing about journaling. You don't have to have any kind of fancy anything. You just need a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen. Now, most of these things I'm going to show you were done in ink and watercolor.
Wow.
But okay, that's just my flashing. But
That's cool.
but let's see. Let's just dive in here. So one of the things that'll help you on your nature journal is it'll help you remember things, and you can document things. Like this spider lived out on my patio all summer one year in 2002. So that's been a few years. So she lived out on my patio, and she wove an egg sac and put it up on the patio roof. And I still have these kinds of spiders at my house, and I think they're probably some of her babies.
We had one of those at school that we watched.
We have one of those at our house.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really fun. I like to catch grasshoppers and throw them into the web and watch them wrap them up. They wrap them up like burritos.
My mom throws crickets into our spider's web.
We drove right into him.
Yeah.
Okay. So look at the butterfly, you guys.
I know, it's pretty.
Okay, so another thing I like spiders, but I really like bugs and flowers. So a lot of times you don't want to pick up the bug or mess with the bug because he might sting you or bite you. Some of them really stink. If you pick them up, they'll have an odor, and it's like kind of like a skunk, but it's called a stink bug. But anyway, so I like to collect bugs, and then I like to put them in my journal. And let me show you this journal. This journal is just for bugs, and I have
Stick bug.
just bugs, beetles, bugs, and insects. And on this journal, I take the insect and I draw it the actual size of that insect. So that horsefly, look how big that horsefly is. He's as big as my finger.
Wow.
And that walking stick is as long as my hand.
Stick bug.
And then this one,
Stick bug.
that's a Hercules beetle, and I actually have one. I still have one. It's not the one I drew, but it's the same species.
Is that the one that? Is it real?
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, that one's real. That one's real. This is the painted one, but that one was real. Anyway, I've found some really neat.
There's a yellow jacket.
Yeah, yeah. You ever seen one of those?
No.
Yes.
We have those at our house.
That one kind of scared me just when I was sketching it. It kind of scared me.
The dragonfly.
Dragonflies are enormous.
I know.
Yeah. And how about a big moth like that?
We have a moth at our house about that
It could be
size.
a village.
Yeah, see that moth, you see those eyes on there? they use that for defense. They put their wings out like that, and then predators think that that might be an owl or something, and it'll leave it alone. It thinks it's something scary.
The antennas look like leaves.
Let's see, what else have I got in here that's neat? Monarchs.
Butterfly.
Yeah, the monarchs are coming through right now, aren't they?
Ladybugs.
Yeah, ladybugs.
We saw
It's Fred.
it's Fred.
Fred. I'm the cricket.
Fred? Who's Fred?
Fred.
Oh.
I did it. I did it in third grade. Every cricket. We tried to catch a cricket, and then in RTI they called me Fred. Miss Payne does, so I just named it.
Okay, I'm gonna show you one other big bug that he's kind of, this
Wow.
grasshopper. He's like the size of my thumb.
Praying mantis.
He was really big. I did have a praying mantis in there somewhere.
A praying mantis. A praying mantis.
Praying mantises are cool.
We had 12 praying mantises at our house last night.
I see them all.
I like praying mantises. Those are some of my favorite bugs, is a praying mantis. Well, today we're going to talk about flowers. So, let's see. Let me see if I can find some flowers in here to talk about. Okay, here's some flowers.
Yeah.
This flower right here, that's the reason you don't want to pick up things, and you don't want to pick the flower or dig it up or anything like that. If you can just sit and look at the flower and draw it, you're better off, because this one, I drew that was growing in the bar ditch by my house. And so I sat in the ditch and I sketched this, and I didn't know what it was. But when I went back home, I looked it up, and it's called a prairie larkspur. And I found out that all parts of this plant are poisonous. So it's a good thing I didn't pick it up and stick my fingers in my mouth. Let's see.
What if you know the map?
What was that? That was a trip to Yellowstone.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was a geyser and some hot springs, mud pots, and a bison.
A bison. Go bison.
And that's one of the neat things you can do with a journal. You can make a journal that is all one trip. And I've done that before. From vacation, I like to take my journal and try and do a sketch everywhere I go. And this was still in Yellowstone, and these were all flowers that I saw. And there's some really neat ones in here, and I drew them and then wrote them down what they were. Like this one right here, this purple one, is called a fringed gentian. I can't hardly even say it, but that's the official flower of Yellowstone National Park.
Wow. You have the state flower.
The bluebonnet? Yeah, I don't have a picture, a drawing of that. I should do one of those, shouldn't I? Well, and then anytime you find feathers or bird nests or bird eggs or anything like that, yeah, you're really not supposed to keep those. And you can get in trouble for keeping those. So if you see any of those, you see a bird nest or a feather or something like that, you can draw it in your journal, and then you've got it forever. These were all feathers from a meadowlark. And if I hadn't seen the bird there, I wouldn't have known what kind of feathers those were. They were just really neat. Let me see. Hold on, I got another bird one that's kind of neat. Oh, maybe it's in here. Well, I don't remember where it's at. Most of the time when you do a journal, you can remember things better. But I'm obviously not remembering things better.
Do you have a snake?
Oh, here it is.
A slithery slimy snake, right? Poison! It's a fishy dog.
See, this one's an oriole nest and an oriole feather. And I didn't want to disturb any of those because the mama bird was laying eggs in this nest. And so I never did get to see the baby birds, but I got to see the nest. but now I have it in my journal, and I can remember that they lived in the pecan tree in the summer of 2017.
They got some free dinner.
Yeah, they're pretty neat. But when you do your journal, you can do anything you want in your journal. You could use stamps or colors, crayons, colored pencils, anything you want. There's no rules to your journal. You can do whatever you want to.
Is your journal made out of watercolor paper?
This one is. This one's I think it's actually a hemp paper. And that's a good point. If you do get into journaling and that kind of thing, you can get some really expensive journals. And this was my very first journal. And I think it took me 2 years to actually get up enough guts to mark in it. And then I think I always date the first one. And I think I started this one in 2001. And it took me until 2012 to finish it.
That's neat.
So, don't get something that's too scary to write in. But okay, let's see. Let's. Are you ready to sketch?
Yay!
Yay! Okay, now don't worry if it doesn't look good or whatever. You don't have to worry about it, because I've got lots of mistakes in my books. And those just help you remember things. So this is a sunflower, and I know you've probably seen them growing alongside the road, and all, but have you ever really stopped and looked at one?
Yeah, I have some in a vase at my house.
Yeah, she picks that skull, puts it in a water bottle.
Okay, well, we're gonna study this one. We're gonna really study this one. So I'm gonna draw with you, if I can. And I'm gonna draw in pen so you can see it, because the pencil, we were having trouble. Couldn't see it too good. So we're gonna start off. We're just gonna fill the page with sunflower parts, petals, and everything. I'm gonna start off with the front of the flower, and it's basically, just kind of a circle. And then you can do another circle real light out here if you wanted to, so you know where the petals stop. But inside this circle, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's texture in there. There's little things happening in there. So I'll just go in here and put some little texture things in here. And this journal is just for fun. So I'm not trying to be scientific about it or anything like that. If I was going to be scientific, I'd have to stop and count all the petals and that kind of thing. And I just want it to be pretty. So I want to draw the petals in there. And I usually do it kind of like an airplane propeller. And they don't have to be perfect. Some of them are pointed and some of them are turned. And so you just draw your petals in there. And we're going to put a stem on here in just a minute, but we got our petals going. And I'm just going to put as many petals as I think looks good, or until I get tired of drawing petals. I don't know if you can see it or not, but inside each of these petals is kind of a little groove or a vein kind of thing. So I would kind of just put that in a few of them. Okay. So then I've got the front of my flower, and now I want to do a stem. So I'm gonna look at this flower. Now I don't know if you can see it or not, but let me see if I can raise it up. I don't know if you can you see on this stem how rough it is? There's little hairs on there and it's really rough. So when I put my stem on there, I'm just gonna kind of have it come down to the side.
Looks like a pineapple.
And if you want to put some of those hairs on there, you can, do it like that. So you know that when you look back at that sketch, you'll remember that stem was kind of rough and hairy. Okay, so then the other parts that will help you recognize a sunflower are the stem, are the leaves. And since we're drawing the sunflower, we can put a leaf on here.
It looks like a pineapple with pines on all sides.
I just think it's SpongeBob.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect, just whatever you see. Okay, now for the fun part, I think. I'm going to turn this over. And yeah, everybody's, drawn a sunflower from the front, but have you ever drawn a sunflower from the back? Have you ever looked at the back of the sunflower? It's almost like a little flower in itself. The green parts, there's these little sepal things that come off there, little kind of like petals, but they protect the petals when the flower is in a bud state like that. So down here, I'm gonna draw the back side of the sunflower, and I'm just gonna start with the center part and then draw my little sepal things. I think that's what they're called. Can't remember. But this is art class and not science class, so don't let me get in too much trouble with the science teacher. Okay. So that's kind of that. And then I'm going to put the petals out. On this one, I'm not going to finish the petals. I'm just going to put them so you know that's where they come off, where they come from. And I'm just going to leave it kind of unfinished. And on the back, you can really see those veins and those grooves on those petals. All right, and then I'm gonna label this as the back of the front of the sunflower. And that way, when I come back, in 2 years and I'm looking at this and thinking, I wonder what that was, I'll remember. And I'm going to put some little lines in here for shading so that I can see that this part is darker than these. And if you're out and all you have is a pen and a piece of paper, you could label these and say yellow petals. And put green and make a little label that shows what parts are green and that kind of thing. Another thing that's kind of fun when you're looking at these sunflowers, there's a lot of things happening in the sunflowers. There are all kinds of bugs and spiders and things. And I don't know if you can see that. That one, there's a little caterpillar or something on it. Right there. Yeah, it's been chewing on the leaf, so it's been having lunch or breakfast.
Wait, can you show me again?
Yeah.
Dinner and breakfast.
Oops.
want to see.
You can see better over there.
You can.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the caterpillar thing is just right there.
Yeah, I see it.
He's not moving around much, but
Can we draw a caterpillar on our leaf?
sure, you bet.
Whenever you want.
That's right. You can draw whatever you want. But that's the neat thing about when you do the nature journal. You know, you could draw your little flower, and then you could say, you know, caterpillar lives here, or caterpillar was here. You can make observations about that caterpillar, like he had eaten.
We could also make a butterfly.
Yeah, yeah. Now, one thing about when you're nature journaling, you want to try and draw what you actually see. If you can't see the thing, don't try and make it up to put it on there. If you're, well, sometimes that's okay, but say you're looking at this flower, you know it's a sunflower, but you don't want to draw that one, you don't want to draw this one like that, because that's the wrong angle. So you're going to want you would want to do, well, I can't even get around there. You just want to draw what you can see. So on that one, I would have to draw, let's see, like that. And then leaves like that. And it gets kind of weird in there. The leaves get at funny angles and they're hard to draw. Yeah, that's kind of hard to draw. So I like the straight on angle better. But anyway, it that kind of almost. Okay. Sorry, I can't hardly draw and talk at the same time. Okay, so while we're also looking at the sunflower bush or plant, we also you could see the bud. So you could draw a bud up here, and you could say, you know, this is I guess you can't really see that, but you would have the whole life cycle of the flower on your page.
That's good. Sometimes it takes that.
And then after you do that, well, then there's always the dead ones. And I think those are pretty neat too, because they're dried up, and the backside of the dead one looks really neat. It's kind of all curly and browns, and it's really kind of pretty. And if you shake it a little bit, you get all these seeds out of here. And the seeds, which you can't really, let me see if I can pull that up. The seeds, I don't know if you can see that they have, they're a little seed with some hairs on it, on the ends.
They look like little bugs with legs.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
They
So you
look
could,
like little ladybugs, little baby ladybugs.
yeah, you could draw that in there, and then you have your seed. And now you have a whole page of sunflower from the seed, and then it grows, and there's a bud, and then there's a flower, and the flower gets pollinated and everything, and it comes back around and it's a seed again. And then just for fun, I always like to label my page after that, so I'm just going to write. I'm going to write the word sun in here. And you can write it real fancy if you wanted to, or just however you wanted to. But anyway, So I'm going to say it's a sunflower. Anyway, then now you can color those if you have some crayons or colored pencils or something like that at home. You can do that and have fun. Let's see, how are we on time? I think we're getting pretty close on time. So do you guys want to show me what you drew?
Okay, go up there and look. So when you go up, you gotta stand.
I'm gonna stop.
Where I am.
Yeah.
Right here, right here. You can put it right here. Okay, I think you can see it if you stand right in front of that chair.
Yeah, let me see. Oh, that looks nice. Yeah, you got lots in there, didn't you? Oh, I like your butterfly. I like your butterfly. That looks nice. Does anybody else want to share?
Okay, go.
Oh, that's pretty.
Cool.
That's nice. You filled the page really well too. That looks nice.
You can get your color pencils out. You got color pencils?
Yeah, we have color pencils mostly.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it. I hope you all had a good time, and I hope you guys will.
Hurry, better hurry. You gotta go to the next class.
Oh, nice. Oh, I like that, Did. I like that. That's a good job. That's a good job.
You would label dead, Fernando.
I like those. Nice. Those are, yeah, I like that. And I like you used the whole page. That looks good.
Oh, you did the dead one on the back? Hey, Britain.
That's pretty. That's real pretty. I like that. Now, see, when you see a sunflower next time, you can stop and think about it even more. And I hope you'll go out and draw more flowers and trees and just whatever. Just draw everything.
Thank you so much. That was so interesting. You're awesome.
Well,
You're-
no, y'all are pretty awesome to come and do this. So I appreciate it.
We enjoy our week. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Tell her thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.